Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Good morning, it's 5:30 on Saturday the 18th of September. Just making my way down to the land, and as always, not quite sure what we're going to get done today, but let's find out. Good morning, well here we are down on the land. Bit dark for you to see anything today as I walk across the field. It is a bit early, so I'll not spend too much time on this intro. Going to be a bit of a chaotic day and a chaotic weekend this weekend, but we can have more of that once we get in the cabin. So let me get cracked on, get opened up, and I'll catch up with you shortly. I'm just running around watering in the polytunnel. You can tell it's still dark because the lights are on the outside of the cabin as I wander around. Oh, you can't even see that. I'm just busy filling up the watering cans, and in the cabin you can probably hear the pump running, filling up the containers. I'll give it a little while to get some more light before I sort the chickens out. It is starting to break daylight, but I think I'll get the kettle on while these cans are filling up, and we'll have a coffee and a chat. Well, first things first, or almost first things first, I had to wait till it got a little bit light. Most of them were still in the actual chicken hut, the coop, having their snooze. Cockerel was trying to wake them up though, and they've finally all come running out. So let's have a little look, see what we've got on the egg front. I cleared out Thursday night, so there should really only be 5 or 6 in there. Got my little box ready. It's going to be dark in here, I think. What's that doing on the edge, look? I think that's the red one in her haste to get out today. I don't know if you're going to see. Let me see if I can get a light on here. There we go. That's a close call. That could have been an accident there. Thankfully not. I've got 3 in there. I'm just being a bit conscious now of where things are, in case there's anything on the floor. Nothing in that one. Yeah, so 5 this morning. Water's okay. Food is okay. Just double check. Apart from the mess, scruffy chickens, yeah, there's nothing on the floor. So there we go, 5 eggs this morning. Get that light off. Well, good morning, it's the weekend. Bit of an early start this morning, and it'll be a short video today. I've got a whole host of family duties to attend to today, which is why I'm here while it was still dark. It's literally just breaking daylight now, but I wanted to make the effort just to get a video out today, even if it is a short one, because I don't know what I'm going to get done this weekend. I might be back later on this afternoon, I really don't know, so I'm taking the chance to get a video done now just in case I don't. And tomorrow I've got a friend flying in from Switzerland. I've not seen him for, God, way before COVID. Must be getting on for 3 years now. But we are such good friends that whenever he happens to be passing through the UK, I make the effort to get out and see him wherever it is. So tomorrow I'll be out, and while there's a chance I might be back on the land tomorrow afternoon, I'm hoping I will. I really don't know. So apologies if the video content is a bit light this weekend, but it's time, isn't it? We all have to fit our time around work and family commitments and other friend commitments, so apologies for that. So yeah, I need to get cracking on. I did want to make a particular point of getting a few bits out on the cabin chat today, and in all honesty, this cabin chat might be it. So I've got a couple of little notes. Top of the agenda at the moment is the weather. It's been really hot again this week. I've been down after work putting water on the plants and topping up the chickens' water. It has been a nightmare. They've promised rain all week. We had a tiny touch. I think I put a community post up on Tuesday night, I think it was. We'd had a little bit of rain, and I think it put about 50 litres into each of the water tanks, so not a great deal. So it has been a challenge keeping on top of the water in this week. And weather's been weird all damned year, not just here but all around the world, and that will have an impact certainly on crops this year, for sure. Inflation, I've talked about that lots in previous videos. Bank of England put some stats out this week. Their target has been 2% inflation for the last few years now. It did hesitate a little bit during COVID, and then this year it's been steadily increasing. They're saying it's 3.2%, which month on month this year is the biggest hike since records began. It's now more than 50% above their target, and in normal times you would see a lot of activity from the bank, certainly pushing interest rates up to try and push inflation down, but they don't. There are that many people in massive debt that any tinkering upwards with the interest rates would be carnage for people. So they're kind of stuffed really as to what they can do. And even though they keep putting out this message, oh, don't worry, it's transitory, it's short-lived, they've been saying that for a year and a half now. And not just here in the UK, but elsewhere in the world as well. So yeah, prices are definitely going up. And 3.2%? No way on this planet it's 3.2%. It's way higher. Certainly double, probably in truth more like treble, and rising. So yeah, prices of everything are going up. So if you're not already stocking up, that's a good reason to do so, because you'll be paying a lot more as we head into next year. I put a little note out on the community tab about an incident that happened in the UK, which kind of demonstrates the fragility of our mains utility grid. With all of this Save the Planet stuff that's been going on, we've been closing down coal-fired power stations here in the UK. We have 2 left which have been mothballed, but with this weird weather, the wind turbines that we've come to rely on stopped. So they had to bring one of those coal-fired power stations out of redundancy and turn it back on again, just to make sure there was enough electric to go around. Well, to kind of add to the chaos, we had an incident this week. We actually import electricity from France. It's not a great deal. It's to kind of level out the fluctuations in demand. So about 3% of our power, our electric power, gets shipped in via a big undersea cable from France. And wouldn't you know it, this week, where that cable pops out here in the UK, this electric substation, there was a fire and the building burnt down, and that cable is dead. So that little 3% that we had coming in has now stopped. So again, we've had to ramp up electric production in the UK. Fingers crossed the wind doesn't suddenly stop, or we will be buggered. So they reckon a month, so by that read Christmas before it's fixed. So yeah, we're in a bit of a fragile place with electric right now. So it kind of, if that doesn't get fixed, as demand increases towards winter, we could see some blackouts or brownouts of the electric grid. So it does highlight the fragility of the mains utility system and why you should have some kind of backup alternative. And if you think about it, as we head towards this, let's convert all petrol cars to electric by 2030, demand for electric is just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up in order to plug in all of these electric cars. Add to that the plans to phase out gas boilers for heating water and homes by, again, 2030. What are they going to do? You're going to convert to electric. So where is all this electric going to come from? Because we're not building new power stations. So again, something to watch out for. Over winter, if this cable doesn't get fixed for sure, we're going to have issues. But longer term, we're also going to have issues unless government does something now to try and get ahead of the game before this big spike in demand. Other things have been happening. Are we heading towards World War III? There was a news article came out today about a new defence pact between the UK, the US and Australia called AUKUS. Essentially, the Australians who are keeping an eye on China, they won't say it's China, but it is China. There's lots of tension in that Indo-Pacific region as China flexes its muscles, particularly in the sea. Lots of articles if you want to delve into that in more detail on YouTube and various news articles. Britain and America have decided to sell their nuclear submarine technology to the Australians, who had been planning on buying some diesel-powered submarines from France. So the EU, European Union, is up in arms about why weren't they consulted. It's got bugger all to do with the EU, frankly. So why should they be consulted? France is miffed because they have lost a multi-billion-dollar or euro contract to build these submarines. They're not going to be built. Australians are going to go with UK-US technology instead. So they're really miffed about it and threatening all kinds of repercussions. The French ambassador to Australia has been recalled, and there's all kinds of political bitching and griping going on. But here in the UK, if you remember, just rewind a few minutes to what I was saying about that power cable that comes from France to the UK. Is it beyond the realms of possibility that France might suddenly decide they don't want to supply that electric anymore? Or they suddenly have an issue with the cable at their end of the channel? Or is that me being cynical? Judge for yourselves. I'm not expecting World War III with China at all, or anybody else right now for that matter. But bear in mind that China is renowned for cyber attacks on infrastructure. It is a definite possibility that they might suddenly decide to ramp up their cyber attacks, because they can always blame the Russians, can't they? Because everybody else does. So yeah, I'm not worried about World War III, but I am worried about cyber attacks on infrastructure, particularly the mains utilities or the internet. So yeah, watch out for that I guess. Supply chain, loads and loads of shortages and pretty much everything you can think of now. I'm noticing stuff in the supermarkets now. I called in as usual Friday night yesterday on the way home from work. Things like Panadol, headache pills, empty shelves, some toiletry items, empty shelves, fresh vegetables, not empty shelves, but the usual poor selection, and a variety of other canned goods were looking very, very thin on the ground. So it is a real thing, and I guess, again, rewind to what I just said a few minutes ago about China. If you think about where pretty much everything comes from nowadays, manufactured goods, not necessarily food, where does it all come from? It comes from China. who has the West just pissed off? China. So it's not beyond the realms that suddenly there might be a factory issue somewhere, or a port issue, because there already are port issues getting stuff out of China. Is it beyond the realms that China might just deliberately slow things down a little bit to add to the chaos and to put the prices up even further and to create a little bit more shortage? Or again, is that me just being a little bit cynical? Again, I'll leave you to judge for yourselves. Anyway, that's my little list done. I need to get this coffee down, mate. I need to do a couple of very, very, very quick jobs in the cabin. I'm looking this weekend at a little bit of harvesting. I've got potatoes that were drying out from last week that I need to sort out for storage, because I'm still using at home the potatoes I harvested 2 weeks ago. So the plan about self-sufficiency in staples, potatoes, carrots in my case, for this year, it is actually working. But hopefully we can touch more on that subject tomorrow, assuming that I do get back in time in the afternoon. I'll do my very best tomorrow to work around my other commitments to try and get a video out. So I suspect today this is about it. Wherever you are, wherever you're doing, I hope you are staying safe and well. And now it is the weekend. Looking forward to enjoying your weekend. Just do reflect a little bit on the stuff I've been talking about, both in the community tabs this week and in the cabin chat today. Lots of stuff going on, and whilst it may not be the zombie apocalypse, all these little things add up, and they're making life quite difficult now. And bear in mind, we're halfway through September. We're heading in towards the winter months, and it's a time when food does become that little bit more dependent on imports from overseas. We do start to use more energy as the winter months and the temperatures drop. So they do add up, and again, it's not beyond the realms that we could have a difficult winter ahead. I've mentioned it a couple of times. I'm hoping we don't have any big winter crisis, but it's worth just thinking a little bit about it and trying to get a little bit ahead of the game now, rather than creating a panic for yourself in a few months' time. So, enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch up with you as and when I can. Well, that's it for today. There is a slim chance I'll be down this afternoon, but I'd rather not bank on that, just in case, and at least I've got something for you. I'm assuming you can see that mist rolling in. It is still really early in the morning. I'm not normally leaving, I'm normally starting at this time. But it is what it is. So, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe and well, and please do enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch up with you hopefully tomorrow.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. What do you think? Chaotic times we live in? What's your biggest concern? Let us all know in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.